Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Mielke, Director of Bit.Summit. Japanese independent game development is vibrant, the community is enthusiastic, and it's much stronger than the world realizes.
This is the beginning of Den Den Town. There's going to be a whole shitload of Super Potatoes, which is like the awesome vintage gaming shop, but there's a store called A2, which is super good. It's got vintage games, it's got new games, it's got import games from the West. So if you want to come all the way to Kyoto so you can buy the American version of Epic Mickey 2, you can. I think it's the arcade games that really made me crazy about games, but I think that it was the mystique of the Japanese, the exotic import Japanese games that really kind of like opened my eyes. It was like discovering a whole new world. It was like, wow, I've entered Narnia of video games, and it was cool. Western non-PC based games weren't all that great. You know, you get like Pandemonium. They just weren't as significant as they are now. Western games are really strong and beautiful and well designed now, and the way Japanese games are struggling in certain ways. It was the other way around.
I think it was the Phil Fish comment at the IGF last year. Phil Fish said that your games just suck. At first the knee-jerk reaction was like, well, that's a f***ed up thing to say, you know, but then at the same time I knew that a lot of people were saying things like that. So I saw that and I identified a kind of a need. I still felt like there was still something vibrant in Japan that needed to be recognized. Bit.Summit is a way for Japanese independent developers and Western media to actually meet and create relationships. All in all, we've got about, looks like we've got about 35, 36 volunteers tomorrow, which is a pretty significant number.
Initially, I was kind of skeptical. And I couldn't really see his vision in full form. And I just thought it was the most ridiculous thing that he could try to do because I knew how much work it was going to be.
We can't get in there tonight and set up, which is what would be the optimal situation. Getting in there, laying out all the tables, and just being able to show up tomorrow and get rolling. But we're going to have to do everything within 2 hours tomorrow.
Mielke, I didn't know that he was this guy with so much pull, and now he's put this Bit.Summit thing together, and I'm like, that means there's more games. I want to play games. I want to be there. How can I help do that?
What we want Bit.Summit to do is we want to remind people of why they love Japanese games in the first place.
Every TGS, you get the same stories after TGS about how gaming in Japan is on the decline. And I don't really think that's the case. I think that this summit will hopefully change people's perception.
I've asked a lot of people, so what do you think of the Japanese indie scene? And they're like, there is a scene? You know, they don't know.
At Q, we're in a unique position with so many foreign and Japanese staff working together that if we can help provide a platform for all of those Japanese indies to stand on and show their cool wares to everyone in the world, then hell yeah.
Look at these! These are so neat! This is my first time seeing it. This is neat. Look at these little silicone wristbands. It's like, yeah, you can wear the assets kit out. Yeah. And then we found out we had to decide things like, well, how many grommets do you want on the banner top, right? This is rad. This is rad. Look at this. Robot head.
Yay!
If it wasn't for Joy, I probably wouldn't have been able to do this. She has taken on an incredible amount of work and she managed to get it done. Just the seating arrangement, the rental space, the event space, coordinating the stuff that we were getting, the printed materials, the posters, the bags, t-shirts, like without being able to come home at night and talk to her about it, I don't think I would have been able to get this done.
For most of the time that I've been working on this project, I've been being a mother and then dealing with morning sickness and then putting my daughter to bed and then working on emails from like 9 to 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just been a cycle like that. So once this is over, I just want, to be able to enjoy my evenings.
It's a relief that it's finally here. It's like, it's so much planning and so much anticipation. I'm not nearly as stressed as I should be. I'm actually really pretty relaxed about it because, I mean, you can't let the numbers overwhelm you. It's just like when you're talking one-on-one like you and I, but there just happens to be 170 more people in the room.
This is still a really independent thing, so we don't have the high gloss presentation of something like, you know, a Sony conference or anything like that, but, you know, I think it's still going to be pretty cool for what it is. Unity's here, Unreal's here, Karaoke-san from Crispy's Tokyo Jungle is here.
Epic came on, they were really supportive, and once we got Epic on board, people could see that this wasn't just some rinky-dink thing, this was actually real.
I'm just looking forward to it being a success and it being finished. I don't want to say over, but I am looking forward to it being finished so I can actually go back to playing games, because I haven't had time to do anything but plan this for the last 3 months.
It helps because you can get everyone in the same room at the same time, and you know, suddenly you realize that there is a community in Japan of people doing this stuff.
When I went to E3, there were other independent developers there and a lot of games that I really liked. It was nice because it had a small community that I got to meet and speak with. But it was nice to have a unique event like this with people coming from all over, and they're just independent developers. It's nice to see everything advancing and moving forward.
When you're an indie developer, obviously the quality of your game is important, but just getting in front of people is also really important. And I just feel really lucky to have the chance for foreign media to come over here and talk to me.
We all make games because we want people to play them. And personally, I don't really look at games as Japanese games or Western games. All I care about is good games. And you know, if our games are fun, they will find an audience no matter where they're from. So good luck in your future efforts.
The feedback we got from people, like guys were coming up to me like I had saved their family in the war or something. It was crazy. They were like sincerely and deeply thankful that we had this kind of event, because they never really had a thing like this. There was one developer, he came up to me yesterday, he said, before this event, I felt like, you know, maybe I was doing the wrong thing, maybe I was too responsible for making weird Japanese games, I wasn't sure of myself anymore. But he said that after Bit.Summit and seeing the things we had to say on stage and this almost kind of rallying cry, he said, I feel proud to be a Japanese game developer. That's pretty awesome, so, you know, I'm happy, I'm really happy.